welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey with me, with us, one big beautiful family. Thank you so much for the ones that have been with me forever, ever since I started the channel, which seems forever, but it's only 3 years ago. And thank you for all your beautiful comments, all your uplifting words, your suggestions, your opinions, and all of your support and your love. God bless you a million times back. Send much love and much hugs to every single one of you, especially my beautiful beauties in my crochet group, which is a private group. If you're interested to join, you have to have a profile, and you're more than welcome. I also have a crochet page you can follow, Instagram, TikTok. Sometimes you're stuck with a project, you could always message me through there. It's much faster and easier for me to get to you. Even though you comment on here, I do reply to every single one of you. Sometimes it's a delay because of the different time zone of countries. I am in Europe. And sometimes, either bad weather on this island or too much wind, no Wi-Fi, you know how it goes. Anyway, most of the time I use 2.75, sometimes 3.5, depending upon the projects I'm doing. 99.9% I use 4-ply, 100% cotton thread. These are Portugal Brands. We will be doing a tutorial soon with this color, actually. And a pair of scissors, of course, tucking in loose ends. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. And if you haven't subscribed, it's just a hit away on that subscription button. It's free. If you're stuck, if the video is too fast for you, turn on your closed caption button, CC, right up top next to the 3 little buttons for most of you. Inside of the description box, there's a 2-minute video. It shows you how to slow down the video and turn your closed caption on. So all you have to do is just go there, click, and watch. It takes 2 seconds to do all of that. It helps you tremendously to take notes of what I'm calling out. The stitch will be written down here, and you can pause, take notes, and take it from there if you're having a hard time. Okay, so let's get started, everyone. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone, so I'm going to create the runner for these flowers that I have done the tutorial on. The only thing I didn't do was the stem for the flowers, and I didn't do the tutorial for the smaller one, but there's no need for the tutorial for the smaller one. It's just how many double crochets we have on the center. Like in this case, I have 16 on here, and this one I have 10. Okay, so it's the same way as we create the big one. It's just smaller due to the less double crochets on the center, and that's what I did. And if you want to go smaller, you can do less double crochets again, or use a thinner thread, because I didn't have a thinner thread on this color, so I decided to go smaller on the, or less on the double crochets. So I'm going to use the Tiffany blue, turquoise blue. I think it should pop out on these colors. I'm going to mix in, of course, still have a little bit of the yellow left, and of course the pink, and of course the brown somewhere, which is this brown. So I'm going to try to incorporate, but for most of you that know me, I usually come out with colors, and then sometimes I change ideas and add different colors than what I came out with. But we'll see as we go. Also, the tutorial is out on the bow tie. These bow ties, they will go over the flowers at the edge like that. And I will be putting on each edge of the table runner or runner. You can put it anywhere for that matter. I'll leave the links below in case you've missed it. I also am going to add the leaf on here, one only. I don't want to overpower any of the flowers. So, and then I will hot gun glue everything to the pattern. So if you're interested to create these beautiful pieces together, I think it will have a nice runner. Then you have to create the flowers and the stem and the bow tie in order to glue them on after. So I'll be using hot gun glue If you have any other specific glue for your patterns, that's fine. If not, you can use the hot gun glue and make sure that it's transparent transparent glue, not white glue, transparent glue. That's what's best to stick these things, these patterns, these motifs, flowers, and all that into the pattern. It won't come out even if you wash it. Okay, and I usually block mine with laundry softener. Any brand will do. I usually put on a small little bottle. I spray and stretch it with my hands. If you have time, you can let it dry. In my case, I usually don't have time, so I light iron steam over it and it stays nice and stiff. Okay, so what are we going to do? I'm going to do the stem for this flower since I did not do the tutorial on it. Coming in with a brown slip stitch knot. Now, the stem, of course, you can go the size that you would like. I can't remember, again, I do things and then I don't remember how many chain stitch, but I'm going to go for the size more or less of the other one. So I'm just going to measure. And you can do the same thing. You can just go and measure the length you would like on it, 25 chain stitch or 30, I'm not sure. But depending up, like the small ones, I remember it was 10 or 12. Okay, the big one, I'm not sure, it's probably 20. But anyway, I'm going to measure it through here and let you know, just to make sure. So just chain stitch, okay? Okay, everyone, so I did was 25 chain stitch, okay? Now, we're going to work on each chain stitch here. We're going to be doing halves, okay? So I'm coming in, not the first one right after the hook, but the one right after. So counting from the one on the hook, we have 1, 2. On your third one, I'm going to do half double crochets all the way to the end, okay? So simple as that. So 1 per space. Make sure you grab both loops or it's going to bend like a U shape. You must go right in the center and grab those 2 loops in the center in order to have it come straight. Okay, so we're going to do that and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've done my stem. Now I'm going to grab my flower and I'm going to turn it backwards. Why am I turning it backwards? I don't want the right side to be the stem. I want the wrong side because it pops up more into a 3D. Okay, so now I'm going to come in where I have the loops on the flower and I'm just going to slip stitch this right through it. Okay, on the loop in the back. And I'm going to do a slip stitch, okay? I'm going to come back in again, taking the hook off the thread, coming back in again, and I'm just going to hook it right on the edge here of my stem, just so I can have a straight line on it, so it's pretty much hooked on both sides, okay? So far, that's the only thing you have to do. Cut my thread, tuck in your loose ends, and then you can, once you glue it on to the pattern, then you can add both of them together. I did a sample with the pink one. I just sewed them on very fast, so you can have an idea more or less what it looks like when they're both sewed on to each other at the edge. Okay, so I'm just tucking in because this is going to go into the back to be glued, so it doesn't matter what it looks like back here. It will be glued into the pattern. You won't see it. So I'm just bringing these strings into the back like that. Okay. Cut a little bit of the excess, but not too much. I leave always a little bit just so I can glue into the pattern. It doesn't come out. So now it's like having the wrong side up on it. And here you're just gonna, once you glue it into the pattern, then you'll have them glued here together. Okay, I had just add them together very quick on here. Okay, just so you guys can see. Okay, you guys, so as you saw, we had a little leftover string from the small one. I just tied it into the edge here, but you don't have to do it. You can just glue it on to the pattern, okay? So now we're going to start with the pattern itself. Put all of this aside so we don't get distracted. I'm going to start with the brown, then I'll come with the turquoise Tiffany blue with slip stitch. I don't know the length yet. I'm going to see how many I want of the length, and then I'll let you know how many chain stitch okay, everyone, so we're going to start. I'm going to start with the brown and then come in with the turquoise, the Tiffany blue. So we're going to do slip stitch. I don't know the length yet. I will let you know how many I've done. I'm going to see the measurements, how long I want it to be. To start off my chain stitch. So very simple, just continue to do chain stitch. You could always advance the video and see how many I've done. Okay, you guys, so I think this should be good enough for me. I've done 74 chain stitch. Now with this, you can go by multiples of 4. So that means if you want to go shorter, less 4, or if you want to go higher, bigger, plus 4 chain stitch. Okay, I don't want it to be bigger than this because don't forget we still have to work around it, so we'll be big enough. Okay, so after doing 74 chain stitch, I'm gonna hold my finger there where I have my 74, the last one. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3 chain more. I'm gonna come back on the 4th and do my double crochet. And I'm going to do double crochet for each chain stitch. Okay, make sure you grab both loops in the center of it, or it's going to bend. We don't want it to bend. We want it to be nice and straight. Okay, so just do your okay, everyone, so I've done my 74 double crochets. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 chain. If your tension is too tight, you can do a 5 chain. You should know that by now. If it's too loose, then you can cut down chains. We don't want a big hole here. Okay, so I've closed in with slip stitch. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm right on top of that double crochet that we started. I'm going to do a single chain 2. This is my first double crochet into the next stitch. So now we're going to do double crochets, 1 per space, and it's always at the beginning that's the hardest to get it going. After that, it's like peanuts, right? And whatever we're doing on one side, of course, we just finished doing this here. We did the 4 chain, so we will be doing also on the other side the 4 chain, and we're going to continue until we meet here again. Okay, so very simple, 1 per stitch. Getting to the end, you have to do those 4 chains, but I'll meet you at the end, okay, so you don't get confused or anything like that. So 1 double crochet per stitch. Okay, everyone, so I've done my 74 double crochets and I've landed on the last one here. Now I'm going inside of this last double crochet and I'm going to do 12 more double crochets. Okay, so I have 1 on top and then 12 more inside. So that's my second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, I'm going to do 1 more on this side because I stole 1 double crochet, correct? So now that means you should have 14 all in here. 1 that was supposed to be for the 74th double crochet, 12 more, and one more because we took it from there to the other side. So now one per stitch again, all the way to the end. Now, if you need to put 2 markers on the 2 that we've used, then you know we have 12 in here, so you don't get lost. So you put the marker on one side, put the marker on the other, and then you have your 12 in there, okay? So continue again, 1 double crochet per stitch, per space, until the end. And when you get to the end, we need to do the 12 double crochets inside of this loop that we did create. Okay? Okay, everyone, so I've done my 12 double crochets. I didn't have to do any extras because we already had built those 4 chains, remember? I'm going to come my thread, and now I'm going to come in with that Tiffany blue. So this is the start of my pattern. Tuck in your loose ends, you know how that goes, in between loops, and then when you're working over it, it's just going to hide it. I'm just going in back and forth in them, a few of them, just to make sure that nothing comes apart, and then we can cut the excess off. Okay, so slip stitch knot. So I'm not going to work on that first double crochet that we have here. I'm going to work on the second one. So not the 12 and not the first one that lands right on top of the first one. Okay, I'm going to come on the second double crochet here. And I'm going to do a single and 2 chain. This will be my first double crochet. Single, 1, 2 chain. I'm coming into the next stitch, double crochet. I'm going to be building groups of 3 double crochet. Okay, could have hidden this thread a little bit more. So we'll just do that again because I don't like to come back to it at the end. So I'm just going to hide it in between the stitches here. And it's secure, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so 3 double crochets, 1 chain. I'm going to skip a space and go into the next one. So I'm skipping 1 stitch and create those groups again, all the way to the end. At the end, we should be able to skip that first double crochet that we have, or that last double crochet. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so I've reached the end and I have 1 double crochet left right on top. I'm going to skip it and I'm going to come in on the next one, double crochet, next space, double crochet. Here on the curve, I'm going to build 6 groups of 2 double crochet, 1 chain space going directly into the next stitch, create 2 double crochet, 1 per space, 1 chain, and again double crochet, another double crochet, 1 chain, next space, double crochet, another double crochet, 1 chain, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 chain. I'm going to skip that first double crochet and come in on the next one. So basically we'll be lined up with these ones here, okay? And continue to do the groups on this side. Remember what I said, whatever we do on one side, we have to do it on the other side, okay? So continue until the next corner. Okay, you guys, so I've reached the end. One chain. Remember, we have to skip that first double crochet because we did the extra ones in here, if you recall. So we've skipped the first one, did the 2 double crochets. We're repeating the same thing into the next space. So we have to create those 6 groups on this side also, remembering that at the end we're going to have to skip that 1 too, because in this side we had 14 inside of the space. And in reality, we're supposed to have 12, but because we cheated by doing 14 in order not to do the 4 chain stitch, remember? So 1 chain, create your 6 groups of double crochet. Okay, you guys, so getting to the end, 1 chain, we skip that 1 and hook on your 2nd chain, or however you start your first double crochet. Okay, you guys, so from here on we're going to repeat the rows the same way. So I've closed in with slip stitch. I'm going to come in, do my single and 2 chain, and I'm going to build these groups again, the 3 double crochets over the 3 double crochets. It will be like this for the next few rows. Okay, so it's just a repeat now in 1 chain space. Now, of course, you know that if your tension's tight, you can do a 2 chain space, right? 1 chain and continue on the same way on both sides. And when we get to the corners, I'll explain to you how that's going to go. Okay, everyone. So I've done all my groups. I have 18 groups, just in case you're doing the same size, 18 groups. Now, when you get to the groups of the edges of the round corner, you're going to do 1 double crochet on the first one and 2 on the last double crochet. We start increasing by the edges. Okay, we don't want the pattern to pull, so we have to increase. 1 chain, 1 double crochet on the first group, on the second double crochet, 2 together. 1 chain, 1 double crochet on the first double crochet, and 2 together on the second double crochet. This is our increase, okay? Now, and of course it's going to be like that also on the other edge. Everything else stays the same, group over group, 18 of them on both sides. Of course, they measure up the same direction, so you should have 18 on both sides. I don't know how many rows I'm going to do yet. You could also always advance the video. Maybe I will be doing like 7, 8 rows. I'm not sure. Then I'm going to change color, okay, just to blend in so it can fit my flowers properly. And you're going to keep increasing each time you do the rows. You're going to keep increasing 2 together on the last double crochet. So we have 3 here. Next row we'll have 4. Next row we'll have 5. Next row 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'll come back to you when I have 9 double crochets increase. On my 10th row, I believe I'm going to change colors, okay? Not 10th row, 10 double crochets on here. So I'll come back to you when I'm done the increase of 9 double crochets on the group on the edges, okay? So I'll meet you there. It's just a repeat now. Okay, everyone. So I've done 8 rows of the blue, 8 rows of the blue, and I have 9 double crochets on the edges. Of course, always increasing on the last one, okay? I'm coming back in and doing exactly the same row again, same thing as we've been doing on this row 9. And when I'm saying row 9 is from the blue, okay? An increase here, and then it's going to change on row 10. Okay, so we're just going to continue to do exactly what we did, but I'm just changing colors, going back into the brown and doing exactly what we did on this row 9. Okay, so I'm just going to come back in here where I left off the rows doing the single and 2 chain, create my groups, one chain, and then continue on the same way as we've been doing. Always an increase at the edges on the last double crochet. So on this row 9, we should have 10 double crochets at the edge. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of my row 9. Okay, everyone, so I've done my 9th row the same way as I've been doing the other rows, and I'm going into the 10th row. Now the 10th row will be different. We're doing double crochets on all of the double crochets, and where we have the 1 chain space, we're doing 1 double crochet. I'm coming in with this what do you call it, tan color. Okay, so I'm going to come in where we have all the double crochets, the beginning as we start, and start my single and 2 chain for my double crochet. Try to hide that little one afterwards. So 1 double crochet per space. This is a 10th row starting from the blue. Where I have 1 chain, I'm doing 1 double crochet. So nothing to it. We're going to do this all the way around. Coming to the edge, we're proceeding the same way as we've been doing. Increase on the last double crochet. So where we have 1 chain space, 1 double crochet, and then 1 per stitch. Simple. Okay, and then getting here to the corners, increase on your last one, same way as we've been doing, 1 double crochet where we have 1 chain space. Simple as that, just double crochets all the way around. I'll meet you at the end of my row. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished doing row 10. So 8 on the blue, 9 the brown, and the tan color, the 10. There's no other explanation for this color, I guess. I'm coming in with the lime green. We're going to build little stems for the little flowers we're going to create. So I'm going to come in where I usually start my row. So I'm going to come in on that double crochet that I start with the single and try to hide this thread. 1, 2 chain. So I have my first double crochet. I'm going to do again 2 more for space. I'm going to come back in the same one, same stitch, and I'm going to create V's. So this is like my little flower stem. I'm not worried about this little thread. It's going to be hidden on the next row as we go. I'm going to go into the 4th space, 4th double crochet, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to skip 3. I'm coming into the 4th, and actually we're supposed to hold it together here, incomplete. Skip 1, 2, 3 into the 4th, and then close it all together, and then chain 2. If your stitch is too tight, then you can do a chain 3 again, and then complete. Skip 1, 2, 3 into the 4th and loosen it up. Don't tighten it too much. If you have to use a bigger hook, then go ahead. Chain 2 into the same stitch. We're creating these little V's. Skip 1, 2, 3 into the 4th and take it all out. We're going to do this all the way around. If you find that it's too tight for you, then what you can do is, or maybe it's best we do it this way so we don't have any issues. We can close it, do 1 chain, and then go into the 4th and create those V's. 2 chain. I think it's best this way so you guys don't have a hard time. Do 1 chain, skip 1, 2, 3 into the 4th and create those V's. oops, and do chain 2 for the V, like that. Okay, so we'll do it this way all the way around. I think it's best. Okay, everyone, so we finished doing row 11. I'm gonna use, I was debating which color I should use for the little flowers, but because we have the green and the pink, I wanted to contrast a bit from that, you know, the yellow and the pink flowers that we have. Okay, so I'm going to use this multicolored one. It's got that lime green and darker and lighter shades of pink. Okay, so slip stitch knot. And you know that this doesn't count for anything. You can start anywhere you'd like. I'm just going to start where I've been starting all of them. And I'm going to do a single, start my first double crochet and 2 chain. I'm going to come back in and I'm going to do incomplete double crochet and again. So I'm going to do another, but I'm doing incomplete double crochet, so that's my second double crochet, incomplete this one, of course, because it's always harder. You can't incomplete the first one, right? 3, 4, and 5 incomplete double crochets. I'm going to close it all together. 1, 2 chain. If we need to do a 3 chain, then we will. I'll see if it's too tight. If you need to do to yours, then go ahead or use a bigger hook. So 2, 3, 4, and 5 incomplete. So we have 6 loops on the hook and close it all together. I think I'm going to do a 3 chain. 1, 2, 3. I think it's becoming a little bit too tight for my taste. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And close it all together. We're going to do this all the way around. 1, 2, and 3 chain. If you're comfortable only with 2, go ahead. If your stitch is too loose. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished doing all my little flowers, my little tulips. Now it's going to turn a bit on the corner, obviously, because we didn't increase anything, but that's going to get fixed now on this row. So we're going to row 13. We had 8 of the blue, 9, 10, 11, 12, row 13. I'm coming off with the 10 color, just right on the side, anywhere on the side, it doesn't matter, because it will be a different count of double crochets on the curves than on the sides. You can put a marker. So if you want to put a marker, you can put a marker right here, which is the first space right after going into the motifs here on the edge. And then, of course, on the other side also, you can put a marker on the first space here, just to make sure, because we have to have the right amount on the curve, or it's going to like pull too much. On the edges, on the sides, will be the same amount. So I did my first double crochet. I'm coming back in, and I'm doing another double crochet, coming back in again, another double crochet. I'm coming in where we have closed off the little tulip with double crochet inside of the 3 chain space, 3 double crochets. Again, where we've closed off the tulip, double crochet. So we're going to do that until we hit here, the first space, just before, right after the first motif here. Okay, so I'll meet you there. Okay, everyone, so I'm on the first space as I told you to mark it. That's where we start that first motive. So we have 3 in here. I'm going to do 1 right here at the edge and 1 in the center of that where we closed off. And again, create your 3 double crochets inside of the 3 chain, because we can't have the pattern pulling. So 1 right here, 1 right where we closed off, and 3 inside of the 3 chain space. Now that this is only done on both edges, okay, and then you just continue on, and then 1 right here. Okay, now you're going to do that for the curve, because you can see it's pulling, but now it's going to get fixed with the double crochet, and you're going to do that until, again, the one here, and you need to mark both sides the same way. Okay, so you have this side, which is the first block right after the motive here, and here the last one just before we go into the sides, and do both on each side the same thing. Okay, and then we return back to the same thing after that, what we were doing, but I'm gonna do it and come back to you once I've turned my corner. Okay, as you can see, it becomes nice and flat once you've added that. Now I've counted these little square spaces from where we started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 17 until I finish the 17th one, which is the last one of the motive here. And now I'm going to continue to do the sides exactly how we started. 3 inside. Okay, so after your 17th little space here, then we do the normal 3 double crochet and 1 right where we've closed off, and continue and repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished doing all my double crochets. I'm going to come in with the blue, the Tiffany blue, turquoise, whatever color you want to call it. Okay, so I'm going to start on the first of this one here from the motive. You can pretty much start anywhere, but I'm going to start right there. We might have to make adjustment to the stitches we're going to do now at the end, but no issue. If we have to, we will. So I'm going to start with a single, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to come in my 4th with a single. 1, 2, 3 chain this time. We're going to have 3 loops of 3 chain and 1 of 5, okay? So I'm going to skip 1, 2, I'm going to come on my 3rd double crochet. Again, 1, 2, 3 chain, skip 2, come on your 3rd double crochet. Like I said, we're going to have 3 loops of 3 chain. 1, 2, 3, skip 1, 2, and coming into the 3rd double crochet with a single, of course. And then we go back into the 5 chain again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, and come into the 4th only when we do the 5 chain. Okay, now we continue again with 3 loops of 3 chain. 1, 2, 3, and skip only 2 and come into the third double crochet. We're going to proceed this way all the way around. So 1 loop of 5 chains, skip 3 space, go into the fourth. 3 loops of 3 chains, skip 2 space, go into the third. We do that 3 times and then 5 chain, 3 times and then 5 chain, all the way around. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so I've reached the end and did a slip stitch on the single. Here's the thing, I had to make an adjustment, 2 loops before the end, okay, 2 of the 5 chain, okay. So instead of skipping, I did, instead of going into the fourth, I went into the third, okay, so I skipped 1, 2 into the third, 2 loops before our fifth, the first one we created. Okay, so into the third, and here I did a 3 chain, I skipped 1, 2, went into the third. The second chain I skipped only 1 and went into the second. Did my 3 chain and skipped only 1 again and went into the second. And then did my 5 chain, okay, and then skipped 1, 2 and went into the third again. And then 1, 2, 3 normal 3 chain into the third double crochet, and then 1, 2 into the third, and of course we'd end up with the last 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, because we started with the 5 chain, remember. So the last 2 of the 5 chain, again skipped only 2 and went into the third. Did my 3 chains, skipped 2, went into the normal third double crochet, 3 chains, skipped only once, and 3 chains, skipped only once again. On my 5 chain, 1, 2, and went into the third. This is the last 5 chain before we hit the first one we did. And then the rest stays the same. It's just on the third double crochet. So that's our adjustment, okay? Okay, everyone. So once we close in, we come in that 5 chain we did, and we're going to do a single 2 chain. This is my first double crochet. I'm going to continue to do double crochets in here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm coming directly on the 3 chain space with a single. 1, 2, 3 chain into the next 3 chain space with a single. 1, 2, 3 chain and into the next one. So we'll have 2 loops of 3 chain, doing our 10 double crochets. We're going to repeat this all the way around the same way, and then I'll come back to you at the end of my row. So 10 double crochets where we have the 5 chain, go directly with a single on the first loop, 3 chain on the second loop with a single, 3 chain and directly with a single, and then go directly into the 5 chain with 10 double crochets. So you'll have 2 loops left. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so we are going to do the before last row. I'm coming in with that pink that I have of the flower, just because we did the tulips. It's got a little bit of mixture of lighter pink and darker pink. So just to combine everything all together. But you can use whatever colors you like. So we have the 10 double crochets, but we're still going to continue to do the 10 double crochets. The only difference is we're going to be using these back loops only, okay? So I'm going to come in my first double crochet, and I'm already going to do a double crochet here like that, okay? Because I don't want it to be too different than the other ones. I'm going to do 1 chain space and coming back in again and taking those back loops, try to hide this thread at the same time as I'm going, and one chain space between them. So very simple. We have 10 double crochets. We'll continue to have 10 double crochets. Okay, one chain space between them. So we're going to have like this little effect up front. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm going to come in directly on my first loop, single. 1, 2, 3 chain coming in my second loop, single, and then going directly again on my first double crochet with double crochet, one chain space. So simple as that. And then I'm going to come my thread. I'm going to finish my pattern on the last row right after this with the brown. We'll be doing the peacocks. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, you guys, going into the last row, you can start anywhere, any of those motifs there. So I'll start here. I'm going to come from behind the first double crochet with a single, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 chain, or actually I should say single, 2 chain for double crochet, and then 1, 2, and 3 for peacock, because obviously we have to start somewhere, right? So I did single, 2 chain. I'm going to come on my second chain, and I'm going to close it with my with single. Coming again on the second double crochet, try to get this little thread behind here and close it. 1, 2, 3 chain. Closing it in here, closing my peacock. And again, 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, peacock. Coming from behind to the front to the back. So it's like back post, let's say. 1, 2, 3, peacock. And very simple. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end here. Okay, you guys, so I have my 10 double crochets. I'm going to come where we have that one loop left. We don't do peacock at the end here, okay? And again, I'm going to do my double crochet, 1, 2, 3, or back post, I should say. Okay, so very simple. I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. This was fun to do, obviously. So I'm going to continue this row and then come back to you and show you how I'm going to glue, hot gun glue my flowers on, and I'll have it all already set up. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished gluing all my bow ties, my flowers, and this is what it looks like. Now, I could have obviously put that leaf here, or you could have, but I wanted my flower to turn a bit, so my leaf wouldn't fit here. So coming out of the flower, I think it was just the right option. And of course, I have it on this end also, which you'll see better in display once I put on top of my table. This is perfect to build on any color or for like babies' rooms, things like that. For anything specifically, you can go bigger by adding, like I mentioned, every 4th chain on the first chain stitch at the beginning. And I hope you like this tutorial, and I will leave all the links below to the flowers and to the bow tie and the leaves. And thank you so much for being part of this journey with me. I will see you in the next tutorial. And please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. It's extremely important. And if you haven't subscribed, you know it's free. So please do so. Subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. I send you much love, much hugs. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, everyone. Bye-bye.